So, what if you could build a complex AI, not with lines of code, but just by drawing a flowchart? Well, that's pretty much what OpenAI's new Agent Builder lets you do. We're going to move past those single linear prompts today. We're taking a tour of a completely visual drag-and-drop canvas that gives you this incredible new level of control over how your AI actually thinks and responds. This is a huge deal, so let's just dive right in.
So, you might be asking, why do we even need a whole new tool? I mean, traditional GPTs are amazing, right? But they're built around a single prompt. And yeah, that's fine for simple stuff, but when you're building something for a really high-stakes situation, think healthcare or legal tech, you need rock-solid control. You need reliability. The Agent Builder is the answer to that. It moves us from just a single line of instruction to a complete visual workflow.
All right, so the first stop on our tour is the dashboard. The best way to think of this is like your agent's mission control. It's the central hub where every single project you're building, testing, or deploying is going to live.
Now, here's a quick but really important heads up. You're not going to find this on the regular ChatGPT site. The Agent Builder lives inside OpenAI's developer playground. And you know, that's not an accident. It's a signal that this is a professional-grade tool. It's designed for building real applications, not just for having a casual chat.
The dashboard itself is super clean, broken down into 3 tabs. Published? That's pretty straightforward. It's where your live agents go. Drafts automatically saves your work as you go, which is just a fantastic little safety net. And then there's templates. Honestly, this is where I think everyone should start. OpenAI has given us these pre-built examples that you can just pull apart and see how they work. It's the best way to learn what this tool can really do.
Okay, let's get to the main event. We're heading into the heart of the tool, the visual canvas. So if the dashboard is mission control, this is your workshop. This is where you stop trying to write these long, complicated prompts and you start, visually mapping out the entire brain of your agent. And I think this quote just nails it perfectly. This isn't just a new way to write a prompt. It's a totally different way of thinking. You're working with these little modular blocks, and you're visually connecting them to design the agent's logic right from the ground up.
So what is the canvas, really? Well, it's a space where every block, they call them nodes, represents a specific function. It could be making a decision, searching a document, using a tool, whatever. And you literally draw the lines between them to build out the agent's entire thought process.
And getting around this big workspace is super easy. You've got 2 main tools down at the bottom. The Pan tool, shortcut P, lets you just click and drag to move around the canvas. And then you've got the Select tool, shortcut V, for grabbing your nodes, moving them around, rearranging things. Trust me, you'll be switching between those 2 all the time.
And hey, don't sleep on these 2 little lifesavers right here. Undo and redo. They are your best friends. They give you the freedom to experiment and try things without ever worrying that you're going to mess up your entire workflow.
Okay, let's shift our eyes to the top right of the screen. If the canvas is your workshop for building the blueprint, then these controls, well, they're your assembly line. This is how you take that blueprint and turn it into a fully functional live product. You basically got 4 key buttons here that follow the whole life cycle of your agent. First, you preview it to test things on the fly. Then, you publish it to make it live. You can use code to get the little snippet you need to embed it on a website. And finally, you evaluate it to make sure it's actually ready for the real world.
I have to say, the preview function is so powerful. It doesn't just let you chat with your agent. As you're talking to it, it visually highlights which nodes on your canvas are firing in real time. You get to see it think. That kind of transparency is an absolute game changer for debugging and for just understanding why your agent is saying what it's saying.
Now, the evaluate feature, this is where you really make your agent tough enough for the real world. This isn't just about testing if it works, it's about stress testing it. You can set up your own pass-fail rules, like the agent must always be polite, or the agent is not allowed to make up facts. The system then runs tests and grades the performance, so you can be sure your agent is reliable before a real user ever talks to it.
So let's kind of pull back for a second and tie this all together. We've looked at the dashboard, the canvas, the workflow controls, but what's the big picture here? What's the main takeaway? Really, it all boils down to the power of having direct visual control.
So what's the big advantage of the Agent Builder? Well, it's really 4 things. First, you get way more control because you can map out that complex logic. That control directly leads to much higher reliability, which is absolutely essential for any serious application. You also get incredible clarity. You can see the entire decision process right there on one screen. And finally, it's all part of a native ecosystem, so it's perfectly integrated with all of OpenAI's other powerful models and tools.
When you look at it all, This tool really is a fundamental shift in how we work with AI. We're moving away from just prompting an AI and hoping for the best to truly engineering its logic. And that just blows the doors wide open for what we can automate. So I guess the only question left is, now that you can build, not just prompt, what complex process are you going to automate first?